All right, just a quick summary of some things about science and religion, and it's extremely interesting when you look at the world the way it is, and the Middle East and America, and these death to America chants by Iranians and North Koreans, Taliban, Al Qaeda. I'm just one humble man trying to understand it all here, but it's as an American, I understand the greatness that this country can be. That There's this split between um, the extremists, the Islamic extremists, and America, and that's the most troubling split. That we, as Rodney King said, why can't we all get along? This troubling split. Watching a show called Homeland now on Showtime, and there's this interesting contrast between terrorism and American imperialism and rationality versus faith, and all these themes are tackled. The recent show had a very interesting piece of dialogue between the CIA agent who was held captive by a terrorist. I guess we could say that the show is talking about Al Qaeda without saying the word, but that the leader of this band, the Al Qaeda like band, is named Nasr, and there's an interesting dialogue between Nasr and Kerry, who's the and he tries to explain his point of view that drones are killing his people and that it should be death to America, and she holds very, very stubbornly to saying he's a terrorist and I will not be brainwashed by you, as he's trying to brainwash her, and she says it's not going to work. Now, just by the show naming somebody like Nazir, you've got to be wondering what the Middle East is thinking about this show. Whereas a logical person who wants peace might say, "Oh, this show is going to just give us some more knowledge about the difference." Where there may be people who are terroristically inclined who might get very angry over this show. Very interesting point is that Nazir, this main terrorist, this as he's portrayed, a diabolical character in the show, shares the same name as one of the most brilliant scholars in Iran right now. Syed Nasir is actually, and you may not know this, but he's an Iranian scholar. There's actually a person by the name of Syed Nasir who seems like an extremely interesting person, and evidence that there are great thinkers in Iran and great thinkers in the Middle East, that we can't just put them in one category of these crazy monkeys who want to blow up buildings. It's much, much more complicated. I'm not saying I'm siding with the terrorists, but what I'm saying is that we tend to boil it down, again, with reference to my earlier video. We are reductionistic in saying, okay, there's bad guys and good guys over here, good guys and bad guys. It's a little bit more gray. So when you look at somebody like Syed Nasir, who is in real life is an Iranian university professor, author of many scholarly books and articles. According to Wiki, Nasir is a Muslim Persian philosopher and renowned scholar of comparative religion, a lifelong student and follower of Shuan. and writes in the fields of Islamic esotericism, Sufism, philosophy of science, and metaphysics. Nasr was the first Muslim to deliver the prestigious Gifford Lectures, and in the year 2000, a volume was devoted to him in the Library of Living Philosophers. Professor Nasr speaks and writes based on the doctrine and viewpoints of the perennial philosophy on subjects such as philosophy, religion, spirituality, music, art, architecture, science, literature, civilization, dialogues, and the natural environment. He also wrote 2 books of poetry, namely the Poems of the Way and the Pilgrimage of Life and Wisdom of Rumi. Rumi is very interesting. If you've never read Rumi, you could do a whole show on Rumi, right? Rumi poetry. Nasr was born in 1933 in Tehran. Who was a physician? His dad was a physician to the Persian royal family. His parents were originally from Kashan. Nasr went to Firuz Bahram High School in Tehran before being sent to the United States for education at the age of 13. In the U.S., Nasr first attended Petty School in Hightstown, New Jersey, graduating in 1950 as a valedictorian of his class, also winner of the Wycliffe Award, the highest honor given to the most outstanding all-around student. So, again, some brilliant people that we need to look at. A scholarship offered by MIT in physics made him the first Iranian undergraduate to attend that university. There, he also began studying under Giorgio Santillana and others in various other branches, such as metaphysics and philosophy. During his studies there, he became acquainted with the works of the prominent perennialist authority, Schuon. The school of thought has shaped Professor Nasr's life and thinking ever since. Professor Nasr has been a disciple of Schuon for over 50 years and are based on the doctrine and viewpoints of the perennial philosophy. Upon his graduation from MIT, Nasr obtained a master's degree in geology and geophysics, went on to pursue a PhD in the history of science and learning at Harvard. This guy's not at all. He's a very big league intellectual. At the age of 26, Nasr graduated with a PhD from Harvard, after completing his first book, Science and Civilization in Islam. His doctoral dissertation entitled Conceptions of Nature in Islamic Thought, published in 1964 by Harvard University Press. So just to make a point that even a TV show called, Homeland can reduce, good versus evil. And when you have a man named Nasr here who is quite brilliant and obviously not a terrorist, it gives one another point of view. And he's been nominated for several awards, including the Honorary Doctor of Uppsala University, Templeton Religion and Science Award. The Templeton Award, that's interesting, huh? Author of over 50 books and 500 articles on topics as traditional as metaphysics, religion and the environment, Islamic science. I didn't know there was a category called Islamic sciences. I thought it was just science. So there it is. Sayyid Nasr in plain light.